time. Let me tell you a story about this girl. When she was 16, she was riding a public bus and she saw this cute guy. She's staring at him, he's staring at her. She's like, Eventually, she finds out his name is Brandon. He goes to her school. So she says hi and they start walking the hallways together sometimes. Then he turns around and starts dating one of her classmates. So she's like, whatever. She meets another guy and she starts to date him, and things get serious enough where she gets pregnant. She's 17 years old, having her first child, but she's happy. She's content with it. You know, she ends up actually marrying the man that she had her child from, and things are actually going well until one day she's driving in her car with her son and she sees Brandon on the bus stop. She stops and says hi, and he's like, yo, can I get a ride? And she says no. She says she ain't feel right about it. She's married. She left him right there and kept going. So eventually she gets a divorce from her husband, and now she says, thinking back on it, it was a fumble because her first husband was a really, really good guy, and she just didn't know what a good guy was back then. Well, after she divorces her husband, she's lonely and she's like, I don't really know what to do. You know, she got one child already. She's trying to stay focused. She don't want to be out there. She thinks about Brandon. She wonders what he's doing. She reaches out to people to find out where he at, and they're like, he's in prison. She's like, oh my goodness, this man is in prison? Well, if I'm lonely, he must be lonely. So she reaches out to him. They start writing letters back and forth. She goes up to visit him while he's in prison, and they start this prison love affair. And she's his girlfriend while they're in prison, and she's pretty content with that. And then another year goes by, and they decide that they want to get married while he's in prison. So him, her mom, her sister, they all meet up together in the prison, and they have their wedding ceremony right there. And then she goes home to wait for him. And she waits an additional 2 years for him to get out of prison. And when he does, he comes right to her. Then they have one child, two children, three children together. And they're like content, but at the same time, they're going through some struggles financially, emotionally, trying to adjust to life together. And things start to go downhill. She says, most of my memories from that time are so bad. And then I remember how he just got hooked on drugs, and it was just very sad to watch him deteriorate. But as she started to watch him be dependent on these substances, next thing you know, she got hooked on them too. So they're both drug-addicted parents of all these kids. Well, she's fighting through it. She wants to stop, but she can't, and he's not helping because now he's in the streets too. Well, she tells herself, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to make a change. She leaves him. She takes her kids, and she goes down to Florida to start a new life all over again, and she does. She's doing well. She's getting healthy, and she decides, you know what, it's time for a divorce. So she finds Brandon, sends him the divorce papers. He's like, oh no, that's not what's happening. But instead of going down and trying to destroy her life, he decides to get clean. He gets sober. He comes down and joins her, and now they're both living a sober life together, taking care of their kids. And they still together.